everyone, I'm Giulia. I'm a biomedical engineer and PhD student at the University of Glasgow. As a PhD student, I'm doing research, and that means that I was given a very big challenge, and I have between 3 to 4 years to find my best solution to this big challenge. What I am doing more specifically is to try and develop a diagnostic device to identify infectious diseases such as malaria, it can be COVID, or bacterial infections that cause, for example, diarrhea. What I'm trying to do though is to make this device on base of paper, and that can be used by everyone, everywhere, and that is accurate. But let's start from the beginning. I think that the first person who introduced me to the world of engineering was my mom. So she used to drive me to school every morning, and for one reason or another, we were always late. Most of the time it was because we were stuck in traffic. So what she used to tell me is that she wished I could become one day an engineer so that I could create a car that could fly, so she would have been faster in reaching school and her job. And I thought, wow, can actually engineers do such cool things? And I found it so fascinating. So what happened next was that in school I really loved math. And in the very last year of my high school, I started really enjoying biology and anatomy. So at that point, I wanted to apply math to something that was related to the most basic of human needs, health. However, I couldn't really find something that fulfilled this dream I had until I spoke to a friend of mine who wanted to do medicine. So for me, it was like medicine, there was no enough math in it, but at the same time in engineering, I thought there was not enough biology, and he was the first one, this friend of mine was the first one to talk to me about biomedical engineering. So then I googled that, and that was exactly the best fit for what I was looking for. So my journey actually started in Italy, because that's where I come from. So I started doing my undergrad in biomedical engineering. And then I moved to do my master's studies at my postgrad in Sweden for 2 years in a double degree program. So that was a joint degree between Lund University in Sweden and Politecnico di Milano in Italy. And that experience actually was mind-blowing, both on an academic level and personal point of view. So after that, I went back to Italy for one last year of studies. And there I started looking for jobs. While doing that, I realized that I really wanted to be immersed in an international environment, and I wanted to keep traveling and discovering new cultures and people. And that's when I started looking for PhD abroad. So while looking for a PhD, I found what I'm actually doing now, and that really caught my interest, because it seems something that could really impact the elimination of infectious diseases around the world. In general, actually, to do a PhD in most of European countries, you need a bachelor degree first at university and then a master degree. But in the UK, you can access a PhD directly after your undergraduate studies of 4 years. What I actually love about biomedical engineering is that it's super broad. It's a very broad topic. So for example, the first project I did during my undergrad was about analyzing biological signals. I focused on a biological signal that was measuring the volume of blood in our fingertip by just using a light to measure it. And I wanted to understand if it was possible to detect emotions just looking at that signal. So there was a lot of math, programming, and statistics involved. During my postgrad, instead I investigated the best way to create microfluidic devices to separate cancer cells from healthy cells in like from a blood droplet. And that actually involved a lot of fluid dynamics and mathematics and computation. And in the end, in my PhD, actually, I moved a bit more towards biology and infectious diseases. So what I would tell to my younger self is to always be open-minded and never be shy in asking for more and being curious. The best advice I was given was that if I had any question, just to go for it and ask for it. And if, for example, I had a doubt, it was better to send one extra email without receiving a reply rather than not even sending it. So another thing that I really love about being a PhD, it's that you're always immersed in an international environment, and it gives you a lot of possibilities to travel. To younger people, I would say to always look out for opportunities, because there are a lot of scholarships that can economically support you during your studies and during, for example, your exchanges if you want to travel. And there are a lot of agreements already in place among different universities around the world that makes it easier and simpler for you to go and discover how university, for example, works in other countries. Always believe in yourself and your potential, and try to not give up at the first difficulty, because all the efforts are always worth it.